Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're gonna be reacting to.
Every blind glitch explained.
The doorway effect. You're in one room, then walk into another. And boom, your brain wipes the reason you got up in the first place. This is called the doorway effect. Researchers found that crossing a doorway acts as a mental event boundary, causing your brain to dump the old context and focus on the new one.
Wow.
It's like your brain is closing one tab and opening another, making it harder to retrieve the original thought. But don't worry. If you go back to where you started, your brain often reloads the missing information.
Wow.
Time dilation.
Am I gonna get up again? No.
That was
I'm gonna call
interesting.
you for
To
it.
me, that's just getting old. As the older you get, you forget more stuff. I don't know. Huh.
Ever had a near miss car crash and felt like time slowed down? That's time dilation. In high stress moments, your brain records way more details than usual, making it feel like time is stretching. Think of it like switching from 30.
Yeah, this is true. It does. That does happen when
What's an example?
car accident. I just the time, like in a your when you get adrenaline rush, it seems like the time goes by slower than it usually does.
Oh.
It's like in
Like
slow
you
mo.
you get into a car accident and everything is now slow? Or you see it slowly or like
Yeah, it kind of feels like the moment is longer than it is.
oh.
It's like you feel like you're there for like 30 seconds, something is going on, but in reality, it's like 2, 3 seconds. You know?
Mm.
frames per second to 120 frames per second. Your brain captures extra frames, creating the illusion of slower time. This isn't just weird, it's a survival mechanism that helps you process threats more effectively. That's why scary moments feel
Oh.
frozen in time while normal life speeds by. The Bader-Meinhof phenomenon. You learn a new word or concept, and suddenly you see it everywhere. That's not magic. It's the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon, aka frequency illusion. Your brain is constantly filtering information, and once something becomes relevant, it starts prioritizing it. It's not that the world changed overnight, your perception just got a software update. This glitch explains why new trends or topics seem to explode right after you first hear about them. False memories.
Um, the only thing that comes to mind is when we talk about something, then you start seeing ads for it, but that's just the phone listening.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from that, I don't know if I can identify with this phenomenon.
What about like when you see a specific number and then you see that number again in multiple instances in different scenarios, you
That
just become more aware of it. I
that
feel
would
like.
probably apply this, but I never had that.
Really? So when you look at the clock, don't you ever find yourself looking and catching that same time? Because you're kind of like catching that time, like you're in tune, you're in rhythm of when to look up for that time.
Well, if I wake up at the same time every
I
morning,
think so.
I but that's just your body naturally wake used to waking up at that time. I don't think that applies. I think that applies to if you like number 777 and like
And you see seven seven
you see seven
everywhere.
seven
You
seven
see it
everywhere.
everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's. But
That never happened to you?
I I, I can't recall something like that
Or
happening.
like if you see something specific and then you see it everywhere.
That may have happened. Something like that. That sounds familiar.
Mm.
Your memory isn't a perfect recording, it's a reconstruction, and sometimes your brain fills in gaps with details that never happened. Studies show that people can be convinced they saw or experienced things that never occurred, even in vivid detail. This is why eyewitness testimony is often unreliable and why two people can swear they remember the same event completely differently. In extreme cases, entire false memories can be implanted without the person ever realizing it.
Mm-hmm.
Our brains are just too good at making up convincing lies. Deja vu.
Yeah, that one is true for sure.
You walk into a place you've never been, yet it feels eerily familiar. Deja vu
Yeah.
is one of the strangest brain glitches, and scientists still don't fully understand it. One theory suggests it happens when your brain accidentally files a new experience as if it were a memory, creating a weird time loop effect. Another theory is that deja vu linked to minor brain delays, creating a glitch in the matrix. Whatever the cause, it's one of the weirdest brain glitches we all experience. The
I don't
Macaulay.
understand it like that.
So it does. There was really no explanation though,
Yeah.
because we don't understand what it is. So how can we explain something we don't understand? So the title, every brain glitch explained. Deja vu was not explained.
Yeah. Because I feel like when people say they had deja vu, it's like there's some sense of familiarity of the situation. So
Yeah,
like you run into maybe not that person, but someone that reminds you of that person. Like they have the traits. That's why it's deja vu.
yeah. It feels like you've done this before.
Yeah.
So it's not like a new experience, but you,
Mm-hmm.
because like for me, it happens like you drive something, you drive like somewhere, and you drive the same road, and you like why do I feel like I've gone there already, like stuff like that, you know?
Effect. Stare at certain color patterns long enough, and your brain will hallucinate colors that aren't there, even hours later.
Yeah,
This is the
this
Macaulay
is
effect,
true.
a bizarre optical glitch that scientists still don't fully understand. Unlike typical after images, which fade quickly, this effect can last for days, rewiring how your brain
Oh, I don't know
interprets
about
visual
that.
input. It's proof that your brain doesn't just receive information, it actively reshapes it. Sometimes it gets things wrong. Capgras delusion. Imagine seeing your loved ones but being convinced they've been replaced by imposters. That's Capgras delusion, a rare but terrifying brain
What?
glitch. It's believed to be caused by a disconnect between facial recognition and emotional response. Your brain recognizes the face but fails to trigger the usual feeling.
This sounds like some sort of CSI show or something. I've never heard of this.
Mm,
That
I
happens?
would think like if you're schizophrenic.
That's yeah, that sounds like a illness or disease or sickness or something. I don't know. I've never so I see you and I think, oh, you're not you. You're somebody
Yeah,
else?
I've been either taken by aliens or replaced by the government.
Hmm?
Feelings of familiarity. The result? A disturbing sense that someone you know has been swapped with a lookalike. This bizarre
That's
disorder is often seen in brain injury or
okay. That is a disorder. Yes. Okay.
psychiatric conditions and shows just how fragile our sense of reality can be. The scene completion illusion. Ever glanced at a text or sign and thought you read it
Yeah, all
correctly,
the
only
time.
to realize you misinterpreted it? Your brain often fills in missing information based on expectations. This is useful for speed reading and understanding incomplete data, but it can also lead to embarrassing mistakes. It's why we sometimes misread words, misinterpret messages, or even see things that aren't there. Your brain is constantly predicting, filling in blanks, and trying to be efficient, but sometimes it just gets ahead of itself. Tip of the
I
tongue.
guess our brain has an autocomplete. You know how you
Mm-hmm.
type on the phone
Mm-hmm.
and there's autocomplete, so our brain is also have autocomplete. That's funny. But that happens all the time to me.
Phenomenon. You know the word, you can almost hear it in your head, but for some reason, you just can't say it. That's the tip of the tongue phenomenon, a frustrating glitch where your brain struggles to retrieve a word from memory. Researchers believe this happens when your brain stores the meaning and sound of a word in different places and they don't sync up fast enough. The good news? The word
Mm.
usually comes back at the most random moment.
Mm.
Saying the
Yes,
wrong word.
yes, it does. Weeks later, and I tell you, it's Rita Ora,
Yeah, you
and you're
told me.
looking at
I'm
me
like, what?
crazy.
What?
Ever called your teacher mom or mixed up words in an embarrassing way? That's a speech error, a
I did
brain
that when
glitch
I
where
was
similar words
little.
get
No, you did that. You called me Rosie.
mixed up
Oh,
because they're
okay.
stored close together. Fatigue, stress, or multitasking makes these mix-ups even more frequent. It's harmless but often hilarious.
Yeah, I did it yesterday actually. I called Phil Pete. Mm.
Oh, they look completely
Especially when you say
No, not that, because Pete was sitting and I was talking to Pete, and then I turned to Phil and I said, Pete, it's just a glitch.
Oh no.
something completely unexpected. Your brain is fast, but sometimes speed comes at the cost of accuracy. Misplacing objects in plain sight. You're looking for your phone and it's literally in your hand. Or you can't find your glasses
That
because they're
happened to
on your
my
head.
mom.
Or your keys.
Yeah, I do think a lot of these, honestly, I think it happens as you age more. Like this happens more as you age. Even probably the miss saying the name or like calling somebody else. Also, I think as you age, it happens more.
Right in front of you. This
Which makes sense. I guess brain is deteriorating a little bit,
Mm.
because it does get slower with time as you get older.
Because I feel like you'll ask me, where is this? I tell you exactly where it is. And when you go, it's not there. But then when I go, it magically appears.
You mean exactly what you do to me? Where's cabbage?
Oh
In the
no.
fridge.
No, yeah, no. That's annoying.
Where in the fridge?
That's you know why
And
that
then I move
no
something to the side there.
no, because it should be the point is in plain
Mm.
sight. You like to do hide and seek. You
Mm-hmm.
like to play
Yeah.
games.
Mm-hmm.
happens because your brain sometimes tunes out familiar objects, especially if they're part of your routine. If your mind expects your keys to be somewhere else, it might literally not see them in their actual location. This glitch is called inattentional blindness. Sometimes you don't find what you're looking for because your brain decides it's not there. Word substitutions in texting. Ever typed a message and later realized you swapped words without noticing? Autocorrect isn't always to blame. Sometimes your brain wires in the wrong word. You might mean to text coffee, but end up typing cookie instead. This happens because your mind groups similar concepts together, and your
I don't think it happens to me in texting, but like sometimes happens just today it happened in a reaction. Something else was written. I was reading it, but I said something else, and I said that word on the screen because I was reading it as I was speaking to you. So it does happen, but not necessarily. In texting, I don't think it probably has happened,
I've
but it's not
seen
an
I've
often
seen
phenomenon.
I've seen it happen like when people are speaking, and so I always be sure to correct them so their brain could get it together.
I think yeah. I think when you speaking and maybe you speaking talk and
Yeah.
you read something,
Yeah.
it might kind of throw you
Yeah.
off a little because you multitasking. I think that's
Yeah.
what the thing
And
is.
then usually the person says, "You know what I mean?" And I say, "No, no, 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 no. Do you know what you mean?"
Fingers follow old
Yeah, sometimes people get upset about being corrected. I don't know why.
No, but it's important for the brain, for the person to
Mm.
understand that their brain is not
Not
connecting.
not
It's not. It's not
what is
in
that going
sync.
to then
It's
understand
not.
my brain is the best
It's
for
not.
what I'm
It's
going
not
to do with that.
connecting. It's not
What I'm going to
connecting.
do, okay,
Because now
it's
you're
not
trying
connected.
to
What you
make
want me to
my
do?
brain not connect.
muscle memory. You think you wrote one thing, but your brain autofills something else. It's a digital age brain glitch we all deal with, like autocorrect, but you can't turn it off. The wait, did I lock the door? You leave the house, walk
Oh
a few
yeah.
steps, and suddenly doubt whether you locked the
You
door.
know,
This happens because
this kind of reminds me of the documentary on Netflix. Or if you're trying to live to 100 and what people do in the blue zones, there's like a little habits that you can do to exercise your brain. So one of the
Crosswords.
tests, yeah, crosswords, and also they ask like older people to draw a clock with the numbers and the arrows so you can practice like precision and having a good perception of what things look like, because the brain does deteriorate if you don't exercise, especially when you get older and you think you could retire and relax and do nothing. No, your brain needs to continue to be active.
Not just the brain, the body too.
Yeah, the brain and body.
routine actions are handled by subconscious processes, meaning
Yeah, I think retire doesn't mean oh I retire and do nothing all day. I think
Mm-hmm.
you get like do hobbies, or maybe get a part-time job too. Just working itself is not bad. I think working is bad when you have to work, but when you choose to work is not bad.
Yeah.
you don't always remember doing them. Your brain automates common tasks, making them feel almost invisible. That's great for efficiency, but terrible for confidence. Sometimes you really did forget, but most of the time,
Yeah, so again, it seems two things. One, these become more prevalent as you get older, and two, all of them is to be more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. I'll take efficiency.
your brain is just second guessing itself. Reading but not processing. Ever read a page, then realize you
Yeah.
have no idea what you just.
But that's because I'm thinking about something. It's very simple explanation. I'm reading because I have to, like school assignment, for example, but I'm thinking about something else. So I am reading it, but I'm thinking about. So yeah, I see the text go by, but I am not thinking about
I
it.
feel like this happens when you read out loud at school because your focus is to not like stutter in front of your whole classmates.
That I do agree. That is also when I don't know if that's the reason per se, because I think maybe for me it's more so that I speak at the same time as I read. So again,
Yeah,
multitasking,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's I don't the stuttering part. I don't particularly never cared about it. I stutter on camera here all the time. But I do. You are right in that whenever if you read out loud at school, like I feel like I've read it, but
The
I don't
person
I don't know
reading
what the
is
fuck I read.
unfamiliar.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I
And
read.
that's the time the teacher wanted to ask you questions. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm like I don't. I have to read it for me to get my thoughts.
Read? This happens because your brain can process words automatically, but comprehension requires active focus. Your eyes
Yeah,
might follow the words,
it's
but
out of
if your
focus.
mind is elsewhere, the meaning won't stick. This happens when attention drifts,
Exactly.
causing a disconnect between vision and cognition. That's why we sometimes have to go back and reread the same paragraph over and over. You're not a bad reader.
Yeah.
Your brain just temporarily checked out.
I hated that when that happens. Like for
Mhm.
school, I hated like certain whenever you hate reading something and it's so boring, you start reading it and you start thinking about
Mhm.
something else. You read the page of like what the fuck did I just read? I have to go back. Oh my god, this
Yeah.
bullshit again. Yeah. Oof.
Or they say highlight it as a strategy, but then you realize you highlighted everything. Go back to read everything.
Hearing words wrongly. You mishear a song lyric or someone's sentence, and suddenly it makes no sense. This is an auditory glitch where your brain fills in missing sounds based on context, expectations, and background noise. It's why song lyrics often get misheard, turning "sweet dreams are made
My
of these"
mom.
into "sweet dreams are made of cheese." Your brain is always
My
trying to make
mom.
sense of.
Oh my
Bine,
god.
bine,
Yeah.
bine, bine.
That's
Or the
crazy.
Drake song with singing like a rat.
Yeah.
He's actually saying sipping like a rat. He's still singing like a rat.
The noise around you. even if it gets it hilariously wrong. The why did I open this app? You unlock your phone, tap an app, and you've
That does not happen to me, but what happens to me is I close the app and I'm like, why the fuck? Where I was gonna go on my phone? Like, cause I closed the app because I needed to open something else. And I was like, what? This happened a couple of days ago, maybe yesterday. I was like, why did I go? Was I gonna go? That's what happens. This particular one, why did I open this app? I feel like every app serves a particular purpose. So if I open the app, unless you open like a web browser, then okay, like why did I open? But if like I open text messaging app to text, if I open, a
But to
searching,
text who?
okay,
That's probably your
okay,
thought.
fair. But okay, if I open YouTube Music, I'm gonna listen to music. If I open YouTube, I'm gonna watch a video. If I open like some game, I'm gonna play a game. If I open Microsoft Word, I'm gonna type. So it's like why I opened the app. Well, that's why I opened the app.
completely forgotten why you opened it. This happens
You
because
think it can be just reflex?
As I said, it doesn't happen to me, but I could see it happening because of reflex. Because there are certain apps that I go to. It's like you just check it like every so often, so it's kind of reflecting.
Or like awkward situation, and you naturally end up on like your email on the elevator, but then you're like, well, what am I doing here?
That sounds like you.
It could be others.
distractions hijack your short-term memory. The act of unlocking your phone or seeing another notification interrupts your train of thought. It's like the
Yes.
doorway effect, but in digital form. Our constant multitasking makes this
That's exactly probably what happened when I said that. Oh, I forgot what app I wanted to go to. I think what happened that time was I saw an email pop up. I closed the app to open the email, and another app pop up. I read that, and I forgot that I was gonna go to email.
even more common. You didn't forget. You just experienced a classic cognitive glitch. So, ever had one of these brain glitches? Tell me in the
Yep.
comment.
Had multiple. Interesting video. Very interesting video.
Yeah, I learned about myself
Yeah,
and others.
nice to see that I'm not alone struggling with this.
That you can't read. Guys, of course. Let's see the comments actually.
16 years of education and can't read, huh? My favorite. Opens YouTube, can't find anything interesting. Closes YouTube. Why I can't click on read more anymore? What happened with this
Oh,
app?
I don't know.
Wow, that sounds like a funny comment.
Yeah, got a lot of votes.
Another annoying brain glitch is that very common in words that can suddenly look weird and alien.
Oh yes, like for example, like if you've never seen the word how it's spelled and you see it for the first time, you're reading it and it looks like a foreign word to you.
No, but this is a very common word. So
Yeah,
something like
but it's a common word that everyone should know.
oh,
Like that happened to me before, with the word annihilate. I've never seen it written
I can see how you
before.
would think that's German.
Huh?
What did you think that's German? Something about it gives me German, no? I can see annihilate, okay.
And then also,
Because you pronounce it differently.
yeah, exactly. And also pneumonia. Like
Mhm.
that's a word that if you haven't seen it written and you always hear the word, pneumonia.
Yeah, pneumonia.
And then when you see it the first time, you're
N-E-M-O-
pronouncing it phenomenon. Yeah, that I
Pneumonia.
think that's what it means.
One brain glitch I hate is where you see people out of corner of your eye, but when you look, it's like a bookshelf or something. Really, yeah,
Oh
like
yes,
fucking ghost.
ghost.
Oh my god!
For
all
me, I
happens all the
always see
time.
by the door. I feel like it's a shadow.
Yeah, your brain like
Fills it in.
fills it in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, brain is a fucked up thing. It fills up a lot of
Yeah.
shit, which is sometimes
Or-
good for efficiency, but
Or I don't know if this is TMI, but like when you hear someone calling you and no one is calling you.
when? Who's calling you?
Like I'm in a room by myself and I hear my name, Michelle, and I go, what? No one responds.
But
back.
maybe like the TV is playing or something, and you hear something similar, or it's just peace and quiet, and you hear like that's a ghost.
I don't know.
That's a
I
ghost when
think
you
it's
describe it.
TMI. Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord, and as always, share as much kindness as possible.